It's old-fashioned sexism. It's ridiculous and it's unworkable. I have seen, for example, on trains, black and Asian people being racially harassed by white people. Perhaps Corbyn wants to suggest black-only carriages and white-only carriages. I mean, it's ludicrous, isn't it? It reminds me of the days back in the late 1970s when Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper, was terrorising and murdering women. And the police advised women to be home safe in their houses at night by 8 o'clock. This is the wrong way round. What we need to do is ensure that men take responsibility for their sexually harassing behaviour. We need to ensure that men are prosecuted if they break the law. We need to deter them from doing so. And the last thing that we need to do, as Corbyn is suggesting to me, is normalise their behaviour by allowing them to behave as they're behaving and simply have women in the next carriage away from them like we're Victorian ladies in need of smelling salts.
I mean, but to be fair to Jeremy Corbyn, I don't think if you examine his record over many, many decades, you could actually call him a sexist.
Well, I think that there is sexism involved in this, and I think that bearing in mind that some religious fundamentalists will respond to the threat and reality of violence against women and girls by saying that women and girls should stay at home or should be covered up in the burqa. You know, I think it's not that dissimilar from his attitude that we just segregate women from men, which I find deeply offensive. And, you know, I'm sure that he was well-intentioned in many ways. But what we need is a violence against women and girls strategy to tackle men's behaviour. And we need women to be able to speak out against this without fear of ridicule. I mean, what happens, for example, to those women, such as myself, who would refuse to go in women-only carriages? Does that mean that we're fair game? Is that how we'd be seen?
Yeah, some very good points. I mean, does it mean that you wouldn't really like to see, or does it mean for you that Jeremy Corbyn isn't the right person to lead the Labour Party?
Well, that's a whole other issue, and I really do have problems with, you know, as a leftist myself and as a Labour voter, I do have problems with the way that some men on the left get away with this dinosaur behaviour. I don't think that he's free of sexist attitudes. I think he's by far not the worst, but there is sexism on the left, and I think that bearing in mind, you know, we have Yvette Cooper, who's a brilliant candidate, and she and the other female candidate, who I'm less keen on, have been ridiculed in the most misogynistic fashion by some Corbyn supporters. I do think we need to have a look at sexism in the Labour Party.
OK, getting a clue there, Julie, as to how you may be casting or have cast your vote.
Not necessarily.